I just presume hotels are there all through.
No.
They're always ready for when you want to come there.
No. From August, the hotels open to around March. After that, they close.
Okay. So you're literally running a tour agency by on phone?
Yes. When I book a client, I tell them I have a chef. And then I call it out.
So it's all intertwined. So the daughter does the booking, the dad does the cooking.
Yeah.
Having been in business, still being in business, how important is a name for you?
A name is very important. Like you've said, it should precede your riches. It should precede money.
Good evening and welcome to the Late Night Business. My name is Ian Dennis, and as always, each and every week we have a very interesting show lined up, and today it's no different. But before I get to introduce my guest today, I'd like to remind you that you're here at the Capital Club, the place you need to be as an entrepreneur, because being a member of the Capital Club gives you access to a huge network. We always say your network is your net worth, and just by joining the Capital Club, you have access to a very, very interesting network. The who's who in this particular country are part of the Capital Club, and all managers, all CEOs, most of the big entrepreneurs are part of it. So if you want to build a network, be a part of the Capital Club. Also want to remind you that two of my books, one, Food for Thought, and the other, Business Compass, are actually out at the textbook center. So grab yourself a copy. The guest I'm actually speaking about and about to have a very interesting conversation that's very, very relevant for our digital era and the digital economy is none other than Patricia Wanjiku, who's the founder of Virtual Moms, an interesting organization that helps moms in terms of just getting to build their skill and upskill themselves for the virtual world. She's also a virtual assistant and has a very interesting entrepreneurship journey. So Patricia, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
My goodness, you're so young. I was so surprised when you told us your age. I was like, what? Will I insult myself? So karibu sana to the show.
Asante sana.
The first question I'd like to start the conversation with, what exactly are you most grateful for today?
I'm grateful for the gift of, first of all, life, the gift of family, the gift of one another, the connection that has led me here. I'm grateful, very grateful for it.
Oh, awesome. I think gratitude is such an important aspect of
Very,
life, and it's important that every day we get to understand that. A quote I like to start with, and provide just a quote out of my book. It's called, and it says, "Your name should precede your wealth. So wealth is attracted to and built upon a reputable and trusted name." How important is it, having been in business, still being in business, how important is a name for you?
A name is very important. Like you've said, it should precede your riches. It should precede money. And a good name brings money. If you work with someone with a good name, just by working with that person, you're endorsed by that person. So I think we should all strive to just, maintain good names in everything that we do. Make sure that we have a good reputation. Yeah.
And let's say for you practically, because you've been in business for almost 2 decades, done quite a number of things, what's it called, you've transitioned to the various industries. What are some of the values that you actually hold, that you ensure that you actually get to protect your name, get to protect the brands that you actually get to initiate?
First of all, making sure that I stand by my word. I will bend over backwards to make sure that I stand by my word. And I make sure that whatever I promise to deliver, I will deliver. And if you ask even my students, sometimes I even go back. If I learn a new skill, I go back to them and I tell them, I learned something else. If you don't want to learn, just come back and learn it. Yeah. So I strive to make sure we have a community. The virtual moms, we have a community. We keep in touch. Yeah.
As you're telling me, what's it called, behind the camera, just talking through your journey. Your journey has been very, very interesting. Maybe we can just start it, what's it called, just from the ground up. Where did you grow up? What was your upbringing like? That maybe when you look back in retrospect, primarily, what's it called, added up or rather made a contribution to who you are today. How was it? How was your upbringing like?
My upbringing was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I went to boarding school at a very early age. I went to boarding school in class 4.
Class 4?
Yeah.
Ulifukuza mapema?
Mapema sana.
How come? Yeah.
Because that time our parents thought that was a good idea of taking their children back to boarding school. I think I owe a lot of whom I am to the skills, how I was built up in those boarding schools.
Yeah.
Because the first one was like a military school.
Where was that?
The primary school in Nyeri.
Nyeri with all the cold.
Yeah, with all the cold and showering with cold water.
Yeah, in the morning at class 4.
Class 4. And then the high school is actually what grounded me and what has, I think I owe a lot of whom I am to my high school because we were taught integrity. We were taught not to litter. Up to today, I cannot litter. Because if you were caught littering by my principals,
it was something else.
It was a big deal, very big deal. So I have that, not littering. I have working hard and just making sure I achieve. I achieve what I set out to do and be the best.
So did you grow up in Nyeri or where did you grow up?
I grew up in Nyeri. Born and bred. I went to college in Nairobi, and then I moved to Mombasa.
So you've been you're a true Kenyan.
Yeah.
And how was it? What's it called? What were your parents up to growing up?
My dad has been a chef for all his life. He has been a very, very good chef up to today.
Oh, dad is still a chef?
Yeah, he's still a chef.
How old is he?
He is 72.
And he's still?
Yeah, he's still.
And even at home?
Yeah.
He still works and still?
Yeah, what he does now is that when people are going down to Mombasa, they call him to go and cook for them. There are people who literally cannot go to Mombasa without calling my dad.
At 72?
Yes, they would rather book a room for him and have them cook for him, have him cook for them.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, interesting.
Yeah.
And
so, Mom was a businessman. She's late.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I owe a lot of my grit to her. I watched her. I watched her just do everything she could to give us the best. I watched her do business, excel in business. I watched her crash. I watched her build herself, never giving up, never complaining. Even when we went astray, she was there to, first of all, rebuke you very, very sternly, and then mentor you out of whatever problem you have found yourself in. And with a lot of love. I miss her so much.
My condolences.
Yeah, thank you.
And growing up, it's such a very interesting, diverse family. So mom was the entrepreneur, dad was a chef, still is a chef. What are some of the lessons and maybe values when you look at that they imparted in you, maybe just that had an influence to where you are right now?
It's funny because they've both really impacted me because I have a hotel background, which...
Yeah, from dad.
Yeah, from dad.
And then entrepreneurship from mom.
Yeah, from mom. So what happened? In fact, we've been entertained all our lives. Okay, so what happened was when I cleared high school, Dad was working in Aberdare Country Club in Nyeri.
Yeah.
So he applied for me to just go and intern as I went to join college and didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then when I went there, then the management thought I would do well in Utali. So that's how I ended up in Utali. And then when Dad moved to Mombasa, we followed him to Mombasa. When I moved to Mombasa, I started booking villas for people. I was in Watamu. It was Dad's clients who I was booking for.
Also, literally, you're under the stewardship of Dad also.
Yeah. So we've been intertwined. So now Dad could get clients. They call him. They want to come to Mombasa. He does not have a place. Patricia has a place. So he gets the job and he gets the business.
Yeah.
And then now Dad later moved to Nyeri. So when he came to Mombasa, I started now doing it full time, the booking. And so when I book a client, I tell them I have a chef. And then I call it Dad.
So it's all intertwined. So the daughter does the booking, the dad does the cooking. All right.
Yeah.
And so primarily, after you mentioned, after going to college, you found yourself in Mombasa. What's it called? Just playing booking. How has that particular journey been? So how did that particular metamorphosize? What's it called? Because you also mentioned to me also you're employed. Just maybe take us through that particular interesting journey.
All right. So when I moved to Mombasa, it was Watamu. So in Watamu there's a lot of Italians. And I started applying for hotel jobs because I was trained as a front office receptionist in Utali. But that's another story. I didn't get to clear Utali because of lack of school fees. But I gained enough knowledge having that I had a background of the hotel. I'd worked for 1 year in the hotel. So when I moved to Watamu, I started now applying for the hotel jobs. And finally when I landed one, I could not speak Italian. So they told me you'll start with waitressing because that's when you don't discuss much with the clients. But I ended up enjoying waitressing so much it was so much fun. I even forgot I'm working because the pay was not very good, but I used to really enjoy going to work.
Yeah.
But I had responsibilities. So when I saw that the hotel jobs are not doing very well for me, I started reaching out now to people in Nairobi, my former classmates. Hey guys, I'm doing bookings in Watamu. I have villas in Watamu. So my former classmates in Utali started now giving me business. Yeah, that is how now I transitioned from the hotel to business. And then after that, I decided, why not incorporate flights? So I also started doing flights.
Yeah. So it was like a natural progression whereby, what's it called? You love the job that you have, it's not paying you enough.
Yeah.
And then you started doing business.
Yeah.
How were you at that particular point in time? Because you're employed and still doing your hustles on the side. How are you just, what's it called, ensuring that both ends are actually met?
Okay, in Watamu, the funny thing is that there are seasons. There's high season and low season. And during low season, all the hotels close down.
Ah, literally?
Yes. All the hotels closed down.
Like literally they're shut. Like no one can go there.
Yeah, shut.
I didn't know that. It happens up to date.
Up to date.
Ah.
Yes.
Also, when there's what are the high seasons, what are the low seasons? I never knew about that.
The high
I just presume hotels are there all through.
No.
They're always ready for when you want to come there.
No.
Yeah.
From October, from August, the hotels open to around March. After that, they close.
Ah. They close also April, because I presume April, maybe because schools are closed, guys will go for holidays.
No, in Watamu, they're normally closed.
Ah.
Yeah.
So hotels are open for like 5 months in a year?
They're open 5 months in a year. So if you're going to work in a hotel in Watamu, you'll only work 5 months in a year.
And then the rest of the time?
The rest of the time.
So it was shut off?
Yeah.
And so how are you surviving through those? Because it means like, what's it called? 6 other months through the year, you have to find something else to do.
Yeah, you have to find.
The hotels are not paying you?
No.
See how much you learn when you go on holiday?
No.
So, okay, I didn't know about
Yeah.
it's new information to me.
Yeah, it's a season called Kusi. Anybody from Watamu knows what Kusi is. And fun enough, they think Kusi is everywhere in the whole country. But it's only in Watamu. So what I decided, no, you know what you have to do? You save during those months, and then you are going to be using what you have spent, you have saved. But now you realize people are getting so little pay, so there's no saving. So you have to think of something else to do, and that is how I decided. Let me start now selling flights. Because I can only sell the villas during the high season.
The high seasons,
yeah. And then the flights, people are coming to church.
Yeah.
Different bishops are coming to church, and they need flights. Yeah.
All right,
Investors are coming.
Yeah.
And they are going to. They need someone who will introduce them maybe to the community there. So I get to know the people who I can talk to, and then I'm going to be able to sell the flights.
So during the high seasons, you're doing this. During the low seasons, so when the bookings are not there, you're doing the flights.
I'm doing the flights.
It's quite an interesting season. Yeah. And what did that particular season teach you about money? Because you mentioned that you're getting a low pay, you need to save. Maybe you're not able to save, you need to hustle. What are some of the lessons that being in that particular season teach you around money? It
taught me you need to make enough. Not necessarily save, make sure there's income coming. So you have to make sure you plan when the hotels are closed, what will you do? Because the only other option is to starve, literally. Yeah. It's to starve. So that's why I decided, you know what, I'll start now booking flights. And then by the grace of God, I got to meet several members of parliament who up to today they still call me for flights. Yeah.
They're still inside the parliament.
Yeah.
Wabunge.
They still call me and Patricia, book me a flight. Book me a flight. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how did that particular journey now continue? What's it called, growing? Because so you used to work in the hotel industry. There are seasons high and low, and then now you got into flights. How now did you continue transitioning? Did you come back to Nairobi, or were you still based in Watamu through that period of time?
I moved to Mtwapa from Watamu. I moved to Mtwapa. At least there was no low season in Mtwapa. Every day was a working day. So I continued with my flights. And so I joined a church, and the pastor of that church connected me to a member of his church who had a travel agent, a travel agency. So she told me, I won't pay you, but you'll be coming. You open the office because I needed the internet, I needed the laptop, and then I sell my flights, and then I open the office for her. If any walk-ins come, then I can do it for her. Yeah. So that's now how the deal was, and I joined her, and we worked for several months, and then she hired me on a permanent basis. After she hired me, I was still doing my flights on the side because I had my clients. So I decided, why not also do the tours? When I learned what I needed to learn from her, I decided I'm not going to do tours in her office. The best thing to do is to just resign and do it on my own. So that's when I resigned. But I'm still doing the flights, and then now I incorporated with the tours, and I registered a company, and now I started doing the tours.
Something interesting that you've mentioned there, the aspect of probably getting at a job that's not paying you, but you went there intentionally to learn. That's something that probably maybe we say Gen Zs or maybe just the normal generation doesn't know about it. But how important is it for you to learn and understand about a business before venturing into a business?
It's very, very important. It's very important to sit under a mentor and learn, because we can't just skim through knowledge. You need to understand for that business to actually bring you money, and for it to for you to succeed, you need to sit under a mentor. Yeah.
And something about learning is that at what point do you consider that you've learned enough now to venture it by your own? What do you need to have known? Because there's also that particular misconception that, hey, I can come in this place, maybe 3 months, learn everything and leave. But at what point can one quantify that I've learned enough to literally go into my own?
For me, if I can make my first sale independently, then I have learned not enough, but it can help me. It's a stepping stool to standing on my own as I learn more. Yeah.
So you worked for this lady, what's it called, around tours, then you started doing tours by yourself.
Yes.
How now did you venture into this? Because I'm seeing like a natural progression. Worked in the hotel, started doing flights.
Yeah.
Now, what's it called, you learned tours. How exactly was it? Now, did you set up your own company or just doing it virtually? How was it for you?
I set up my own company, but by the time I was setting up my own company, I didn't have a laptop, I didn't have internet, I was going to a cyber.
Yeah.
But I did not want...
But how were you booking the flights without your own laptop and internet?
I was calling.
So you're calling the office. So to do it physically.
Yeah, I was calling the company. I call, they send me the flight, and then I tell the person, I add like 200, 500 on top of the ticket. Yes, I do a markup. And then I tell the client, you will get the ticket at the airport. I just give them the
number.
Yeah, the reservation number.
So you're just doing that?
Yeah.
And that's how you used to make your money?
That's how I used to make my money.
Okay. So you're literally running a tour agency on phone?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. And then, so what's it called? So when you started up your own, how was it?
When we started...
Yeah, so you used to go to the cyber. You mentioned that you didn't have a laptop, you didn't have anything.
Yeah, I used to go to the cyber. By that time, I had gotten married. So I told my husband, please come and help me, because, I needed all the support I can get.
Yeah.
So we used to go to the cyber and respond to all the bookings. And then...
So via email?
Yeah, via email. And then just one day, we landed our first deal, and we were able to get the first computer and internet. Yeah.
Interesting. That was in which year was that?
That was I started in 2015. We got the first computer in 2016. Yeah, 2016.
All right. And then how was that natural progression? How did the business fare?
The business was very good. The business was excellent. It was awesome. And we were able to, do a lot of tours, get a lot of positive reviews, 5-star reviews. But at one point, it's just the platform where we were booking, our account was blocked.
Why?
It was just a customer complained because of a picture she had seen. That's another thing, about showing the actual thing. So we had shown a picture of a swimming pool, and the hotel she went didn't have a swimming pool. So now that amounted to, we aligned to the customer. It was just that one picture. And that is how our account was closed.
Wow. So the business literally shut down
after
that?
Yeah, it shut down.
And your husband had left his work to come do the business?
No, he was still doing his work. He works from home. He does psychology and counseling. So he's independent. Okay, because I can try to imagine like all of you guys, everything has to shut down for everybody. Yeah.
Interesting. So after that particular letdown, how did you overcome it, and how did you transition from that?
Okay, now, I remember it was December 2016, and the company has shut down, and we had to refund all the clients who had booked with us. So after that, I had heard about Upwork. So I decided, let me create an account on Upwork. So I created an account on Upwork, and it was rejected. When it was rejected, I went to Facebook, the same group I learned about the Upwork, and I just updated that I applied for an account and it was rejected. And they told me there's someone so and so can help you approve it. So actually he did approve it for me. That was in December. Then I started. Now when the business crashed, now I had to start now very seriously in January of 2017. And in February I landed my first client.
And through that season, because I'm getting an element of just being very you have a lot of perseverance in you, because here it's a business that you guys are doing it was quite well, and it's a reality that most entrepreneurs face, the aspect of failure. What did you learn from that failure, and what made you persevere through that particular period of time?
First of all, when you fail at something, you can't afford to keep on to stay there, because there's no time to stay there, because bills are looking at you, life is looking at you. So it's you re-strategize quickly. What will you do next? Because life has to move on. Your children will not understand that you are failed. No, the landlord will not understand you are failed. Nobody will understand.
The landlord is your story. The failure is just you.
So you gather yourself together and know what to do. You know, there's no time for self-pity. No, later you can look back and say, what? It was tough. But after you crash, you have to look for a way out. And that is something I learned from my mom.
Because you mentioned mom was also in business and also had failed before.
Very resilient.
And the interest for, getting into virtual work, doing virtual, why did that particular interest come about?
I guess because we were working from home.
Also, most of the time because you mentioned your husband is a counselor, also has been working from home for the most time. Same to you when you're doing a virtual business.
So it was only natural I want something that I will work on at home. And I had heard about this online work. So that's when I decided to give Upwork a try.
And it's a trend that's now normal with us, but COVID came to be and make virtual work became a normal sense. You got into the trend? What made you go into the trend quite early?
I guess need for money. I needed money. By the time I was getting my first client, I needed that money like that week, and I was paid on Friday.
And you need to pay your bills.
I need to pay my bills.
Interesting. So on that particular note, you're going to end this part one of the show. Then when we come back, probably next week, you're going to be telling you how this particular virtual mom came to be, how this particular transition came to be. So keep it right here on KTN. Until next time, my name is Ian Dennis.